my God. You're not going to believe this, unless you've been living under a rock. Meghan Markle has just been hit with the biggest scandal of her life. We're talking about secrets, schemes, and the ultimate royal revenge. The drama is off the chart. So here's what's going down. Debts, deceit, and a downfall no one saw coming. The British establishment has apparently had enough, and they just pulled the plug. The House of Lords, in an explosive move that shook the palace to its core, has reportedly frozen Meghan Markle's overseas bank account. And not just any account, one that's allegedly tied to taxpayer-funded grants and income from her charity gigs back when she was still a working royal. Let that sink in. According to insiders with all the tea, the account freeze came just hours after a secret whistleblower report was dropped into the laps of internal investigators. That report? It accuses Meghan of rerouting public and charitable funds into private offshore accounts. Charities meant to uplift the world, suddenly becoming personal piggy banks? Oh, honey, and the reaction inside those palace walls? Chaos. Pure, unfiltered chaos. Meghan, upon hearing the news, reportedly collapsed. Full-on breakdown. Screaming at her team, they have no right. She allegedly yelled that the British government couldn't touch what she claimed was hers. Whew.
This series, and they'll believe it. They'll believe the smears about Britain and our monarchy, that we're a bunch of bigoted and hateful people. They even blamed Brexit for the racism which apparently was aimed at Meghan Markle, which is just completely absurd. But by far the most sickening part of the show for me was the constant use of Harry's...
I'm going to show you how to make a happy, warm, loving home after I have successfully severed my husband's ties from his entire family.
Did you see my baby mama dance?
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you the timing of that, we maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday, and I was like, is that her?
Oh my God.
Is that Prince Harry there with the fingers and the, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, by the way, that wasn't yesterday.
No,
that was 4 years ago. So it's also a really great reminder that with all the noise or whatever people do, there's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes. I'm just grateful that now, being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own term.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. It's so authentic, isn't it?
But hold on, because things get even darker. Legal teams were yanked out of bed, political allies went dead silent. And for the first time since Meghan and Harry stepped away from royal duties, Meghan's so-called financial independence might be in serious trouble. This isn't your average tabloid drama. This is an elite-level takedown. We're talking power, pride, and a fall from grace that could break an empire. And trust, if even a fraction of what's being whispered in the halls of Westminster is true, then Meghan's glittering empire is already crumbling.
It's about an hour-long cab ride. Never seen his grandchildren. This show is packed with the kind of spurious claims and hypocrisy that have become the Sussex signature. We learned they began making videos about their heroic journey 6 months before their Netflix deal was even announced, and right at the start of a pandemic that was killing.
Meghan Markle, she may have stepped down from royal duties more than 5 years ago, but she keeps taking aim at the monarchy. The Duchess of Sussex has made reportedly at least half a dozen swipes at the royal family this year, and it's only June.
Proud to, if you excuse the massive book deals, the Silicon Valley startups, the preaching videos about well-being, the podcasts, the speeches, and the major network interviews with everyone from Oprah Winfrey to James Corden. But they've barely been seen or heard at all, have they? Well, on Thursday, they'll quietly and apologetically release their $100 million.
Now let's talk receipts. Because this wasn't just some symbolic freeze, it was a financial shutdown of epic proportions. Sources close to Parliament spill that this operation went down behind closed doors, with a lockdown order rushed through in a hush-hush session by the House of Lords. The trigger? That leaked audit. The result? Within a single day, Meghan's access to her overseas funds was gone.
Oh my gosh, I worked so hard.
She talks like she's a one-woman band. That is not hard work. Hard work is get up in the morning, get to 7 o'clock, getting to a factory or a shop and working for 10 hours on your feet, coming home knackered. That's not what happens to her.
And still being a mom.
That is
still
not
being a
what's happening.
mom.
Before we even get to the main event.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile.
This woman is a born manipulator. The Netflix thing, she doesn't do the work. She doesn't make the jams. It's all made for her.
What matters is what we have on the inside.
This also follows all the stories about her bullying staff over here in the UK, which is unresolved. NDAs stopped all that stuff coming out, but she bullied people in a very unpleasant way over here.
Everybody says she's a bully. She's very nasty. Not only is she incredibly controlling, but she's a bitch. About the end of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
That's how
She couldn't move a penny, couldn't wire cash, couldn't even view her balances without sending alerts to UK regulators. And girl, when you're allegedly using those accounts to pay for private jets, security, staff, salaries, international deals, and maybe even property bills, that's not just inconvenient, that's devastating. Now get this. Those accounts weren't just chilling in your standard HSBC branch.
Oh no.
They were supposedly tucked away in at least 2 tax haven zones, one in the Caribbean known for super secretive banking, and another in Europe that's been under fire for sketchy political cash flows. UK regulators went red alert on both. They say the freeze was stealthy, surgical. Meghan never saw it coming.
Back of your head. This gruesome twosome only survived by cashing in on what's left of their royal status now. I said it before, I'll say it again tonight. King Charles should strip them of all their remaining titles and cast them out from any connection to the royal family. How could any of them trust them as far as I could throw them? Because without it, they're just whining millennial windbags.
mornings are as I get the kids off to school. You're making fruit parfait crudité boards?
Oh my God.
Boom. She's Harry Sussex. I have no idea. And no, Meghan, no one knew that. Like, why are you correct?
And according to Palace Whispers, that stealth strike hit home hard. Meghan truly believed the system wouldn't dare touch her. But baby, they did. And when she thought it couldn't get any worse, boom, out comes the smoking gun. Remember that audit we mentioned? Turns out this thing was commissioned months ago. Buried under layers of bureaucracy, it zeroed in on Meghan's financial activities during her final year as a working royal and her first year running her foundation, and the findings bone-chilling. We're talking dozens of tiny, sneaky transactions, some just £1,000 sterling, quietly trickling out of open charity accounts and into offshore companies with names so bland they screamed, hiding something. These weren't accidental. They were calculated, spread across states, currencies, and borders, all designed to dodge suspicion. But someone noticed. A junior officer, bless their bold heart, saw the pattern and raised the alarm. They were told to keep quiet, but they didn't. They're believed to be the whistleblower. That Heroes report linked money from 3 charity events, 1 royal allowance, and 2 brand partnerships straight into these sketchy companies. Companies with no listed owners, fake addresses, and accounts that just disappeared. This audit wasn't a spark. It was a firestorm. Parliament acted fast. One member from the Financial Ethics Committee reportedly said, "Once we saw the report, we couldn't look away." And while the UK prepared to pounce, Meghan's world started shattering. When the freeze hit, she collapsed mid-call. Overcome with panic, screaming that it was war. She thought it was illegal. Her legal team scrambling like their hair was on fire. Calls going from California to Europe to the Caribbean and back. But under UK law, if your account is even suspected of fraud, you're done. You don't move a cent without a judge. Harry was notified. And word is, he was furious. He reportedly told friends this was all political, that they were being used as pawns. Meanwhile, Meghan, in tears, told those close to her, everything we've worked for is being taken. Within hours, her camp was in DEFCON 1 mode. PR crisis teams were called in. But those calls, they started going unanswered. Her allies banished, silence ghosted. And as her circle shrunk, it became crystal clear this wasn't just about protecting her name anymore. It was about saving everything. And girl, they're just getting started. The National Audit Office and the Charity Commission jumped into action. These watchdogs don't play. Full-blown investigations. Every single document connected to Meghan's finances is now under review. This wasn't just check the receipts. This was pull up the emails, subpoena the texts, scan the invoices, check the jets, the staff, the dinners, the outfits. Everything, even her royal era spending, is on the table. Who funded what, why, and how much? One source close to Parliament spilled that this isn't just a compliance matter. This is about public trust. And the royals, they're distancing fast. The palace calendars suddenly had no mention of Meghan or Harry. Events they were once part of, gone. Royal appearances scrubbed. Private engagements quietly restructured. Even behind palace walls, King Charles, Prince William, and Queen Camilla were allegedly told to maintain complete silence, no comment, no contact, zero ties. This was a strategy, a cold, calculated retreat. They've hit the mute button, one royal aide whispered, because defending Meghan now, that equals guilt. Even Harry is allegedly being iced out. One insider described his relationship with Charles as frozen in time. Poetic, right? Especially with that financial freeze as the backdrop. Buckingham Palace is in pure survival mode. They've made it clear this is Meghan's mess now, and oh boy, is it ever a mess. So while the palace hit mute, Meghan's world started falling apart in real time. The empire she built, shiny, curated, and globally branded as independent royalty, was crumbling faster than a house of cards in a storm. Those multi-million-dollar brand deals she flaunted, rumor is they're now under intense internal review. Fashion giants who once begged for her endorsements, quietly backing off. One by one, the contracts are being put on hold. And let's talk about that podcast. The big media centerpiece of her post-royal comeback, frozen indefinitely. But that's just the surface. Behind the scenes, her entire business empire is reportedly being dissected. Her production company, yet under internal audit. Insiders say they're combing through everything: executive pay stubs, reimbursements, international transfers, and even expense reports. And the buzz isn't pretty. It gets even worse. One of Meghan's lesser-known business entities, supposedly registered in Luxembourg, was flagged just last month for suspicious documentation. A compliance watchdog red flagged the company for inconsistencies. Translation, something isn't adding up. And don't even get us started on Hollywood. Those same producers who once tripped over themselves to be associated with the Sussex name, now they're keeping their distance, like far away. One insider told Variety, off the record of course, if this turns into a legal indictment, civil or not, every brand linked to her is done. That's not risk, it's suicide. Boom! The once golden image is now radioactive. The optics are horrifying. The business foundation that Meghan poured years into building, now shaking on every level. The glitz, gone. The power brokers, vanished. The influence, slipping. And just when you think she's hit rock bottom, here comes the next bombshell. Just as the headlines started to calm, another wave of whispers exploded through the elite financial circles. According to a jaw-dropping leak from an anonymous source at a private institution in Monaco, a second offshore account, even more secret than the first, has allegedly been uncovered. And this one? It's even messier. This account isn't in Meghan's name. Oh no, she was smarter than that. It's allegedly buried under a corporate shell, carefully constructed to hide true ownership. But forensic analysts claim they can trace the transactional fingerprints right back to her, not in name, but in timing, activity, and style. And that's more than enough to raise flags. This account? It's been active for over 2 years, and get this, over £2 million sterling, 0 pence, was reportedly funneled into it, with deposits suspiciously lining up with her high-profile charity appearances. Not business deals, not consulting gigs, but public charity events, the kind that win her applause and awards. Where was the money going? Experts say the trail is classic cloak and dagger banking. Small sums deposited at staggered intervals, rerouted through multiple international layers, finally landing in a vault in Monaco. This is the kind of laundering structure used by high net worth individuals trying to avoid audits or raise suspicion. If UK investigators prove Meghan has ties to this account, game over. According to insiders, UK regulators are already in motion, and now European investigators are preparing to launch a joint probe. Third in elite circles is if this link is confirmed, Meghan won't just face a scandal, she'll face a legal war zone. And it doesn't stop there, because Meghan's legal team, behind closed doors, her lawyers are said to be in panic mode, preparing for a barrage of civil lawsuits, asset recovery motions, and possibly, wait for it, a civil fraud investigation. The UK government's legal departments are allegedly compiling a detailed case file, pulling together every relevant transaction agreement and charity document from the last 5 years. They're calling it a coordinated legal offensive. And that's not all. One prominent British philanthropist once publicly allied with Meghan's charity projects has reportedly submitted a formal demand to the House of Lords. They want full financial disclosure and are accusing Meghan of violating donor trust. trust. The fallout from that alone could wreck every remaining sponsorship she has. Meanwhile, Meghan's team is set to be scrambling to protect what little remains. Word is they're exploring ways to shield her assets by moving funds into protected trusts or estates outside UK jurisdiction. But here's the catch. Any movement right now could be interpreted as an attempt to hide money, which could backfire badly. Insiders claim court filings are imminent, donor groups are organizing, and one terrifying phrase keeps circling legal circles like a vulture: asset seizure. If a court finds Meghan liable even in a civil case, the consequences could be life-changing. She could be forced to pay back donors, lose any charitable status, and face a permanent ban from ever running or endorsing a nonprofit again. Let that sink in. Forever banned from charity leadership. And just like that, the carefully built Sussex brand, once hailed as the modern model of philanthropy, is now running on fumes. Corporate sponsors backing away. Public appearances pulled. Hollywood talks on hold. New production contracts, forget about it. Even interviews and PR opportunities reportedly canceled or ghosted. And behind closed doors, her team is imploding. Sources claim one PR manager was fired last week. Another senior aide gone on indefinite leave. Everyone's jumping ship. The money's locked, the image is shredded, and the sharks are circling. So now the question on everyone's mind, is this the end of Meghan's empire? It sure looks like it. One frozen account exposed a mountain of secrets, a second offshore vault turned the whispers into sirens, and now, with Parliament watching, regulators digging, and the media eating it all up, Meghan Markle is fighting the storm of her life. She might have thought she was untouchable. She might have believed her empire was invincible. But now it looks like the House of Lords just delivered the blow that might end it all. And if what we're hearing is true, this isn't just about one bank account. This is about a kingdom built on sand. So, spill the tea. What do you think? Has the crown finally struck back?